in a CNBC exclusive interview is National Economic Council Deputy Director Bharat Ramamurthy. It's good to have you back on the show, Bharat. How do you guys quantify the impact of this bill in terms of growth and jobs and investment?
Well, quite similarly to that FT analysis that you just put up there, we're looking at something like 170,000 jobs created thanks to the investments spurred by the Inflation Reduction Act. We've seen already since the passage of that bill just a year ago over $100 billion worth of private industry commitments into clean energy production. And so we have a pro-growth agenda, a pro-jobs agenda, and of course, and very importantly, a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by one estimate, a projected reduction of 1 billion tons of greenhouse gases by 2030. So as the president likes to say, when he thinks about addressing climate change, he thinks about jobs. And what we have with the Inflation Reduction Act is a win-win, reduction in emissions and a lot of good jobs being created.
Yeah, the problem is nobody knows about it. According to a Washington Post University of Maryland poll from last month, 71% of Americans say they know little or nothing about the law.
Well, that's one of the reasons here I'm talking to you. I think that we're out there trying to make the case for this law. People may not know it as the Inflation Reduction Act, but I think that they will know parts of the act. So, for example, starting this year, insulin was capped at $35 a month for seniors on the Medicare program. There are millions of seniors who are seeing real cost reductions thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act. If you ask people, are you familiar with that provision and how do you feel about it, it's a very strong response. I think that as time goes on and people start to feel more of the effects of this, whether it's jobs coming to their community, remember that starting this year, we're going to be negotiating for the first time the cost of prescription drugs through the Medicare program, which means that year after year, we're going to see 10 drugs come down in cost, which is going to pass on savings to seniors and huge savings for taxpayers through the Medicare program. So one of the great things about this bill is that it's reducing costs, it's creating jobs, it's reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and on top of all of that, it's reducing the budget deficit.
I'm glad you mentioned the drug provisions, because that is an industry that is not celebrating the one-year anniversary of this legislation today, Bharat. In fact, J&J, Merck, a number of other pharmaceutical companies, the industry trade group, and the Chamber of Commerce are all suing the Biden administration, saying that it's unconstitutional and warning that it's going to hurt innovation. They call it the Innovation Reduction Act. How are you going to deal with some of that pushback, including from Republicans who say it's state control?
Well, I think one of the problems in Washington that we've had for the last few decades is that Big Pharma has been celebrating too much. And I think that what we have been doing with the Inflation Reduction Act is finally taking on Big Pharma on behalf of the American taxpayer and on behalf of the American public. You know, Americans pay on average 2 or 3 times the cost as people in Europe for the exact same drug. And one of the reasons for that is because Medicare has been barred by law from just negotiating with the drug companies to reduce the costs of those basic drugs that people rely upon. We're finally changing that. I'm not surprised to hear that the pharmaceutical industry isn't thrilled about that, but we believe that they're still going to have robust incentives for innovation, that they're still going to make plenty of money, but we can save taxpayers and the public hundreds of billions of dollars each decade thanks to these provisions, and give people access to life-saving drugs that they need.
Hey, Bharat, it was reported that the president said at a fundraiser the other day that it probably wasn't the best named legislation, and I'm wondering what the White House would want to call it if it were fresh today.
Well, I think one of the great things about this legislation is that it does so much, and you're restricted to maybe having a few words when you name your piece of legislation. It's not the most pithy name, but maybe you could call it the Economic Growth, Inflation Reduction, Deficit Reduction, Cost Savings Act, Greenhouse Gas Emission Reduction Bill. It did a lot. It accomplished a lot of really important priorities for this country. It is putting us in a position to lead on clean energy production. Remember, this is going to be a multi-trillion-dollar global market for clean energy. The United States should be leading the effort, not only because we have to reduce our own emissions, but because when other countries need access to efficient, low-cost clean energy, the United States should be the ones who are building that and exporting it. And now, thanks to this bill, we're in real position to do that.